Hello everyone and welcome to Ferris Sports Update on the Bulldog Sports Network. I'm your host Rob Bentley and thanks for tuning in. Today we'll talk Bulldog track and field and with us head coach Steve Picucci. Coach, thanks for stopping by today.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
The Bulldogs kicked off the outdoor season just this past week, a trip down to North Carolina to take part in the Raleigh Relays at North Carolina State University. Tell us a little bit about the chance to get out and compete outdoors here in that meet this past weekend.
Yeah, we took a chance to go down to Raleigh, kind of an early season meet. You got to kind of drive pretty far to find any decent weather this early, but took probably about 15, 18 kids down there. Just trying to get some of our, kind of upper level kids a chance to compete early on and get some warm weather. And it went pretty well. We had a couple provisional qualifiers for nationals right off the bat, so that was great. A couple other kids real close, and then I think we had one school record go down too. So it's kind of a good trip for us. So.
Talk a little bit about the fact that you guys go down there. You not only have a chance maybe to compete outside, but also a chance to compete against some bigger schools, schools from all levels down there. Talk a little bit about the quality of the competition.
Yeah, it was actually, it's kind of the reason we make that big trip is it's one of those times where we can, kind of do two things at once. To go down there, get some warm weather, good competition, all in one. But, we competed against all, mostly D1 schools down there. I mean, they had D3 NAIA schools as well, but it's kind of a nice chance for us to kind of see people we don't normally get to see compete against, even some D2 schools that were there that we don't normally see. Slippery Rock was there, Millersville. So those are schools that, we compete against in Division II, but we never see. But mostly it was, pretty high competition D1 schools. So it was good for us to get down there and kind of see that high level, and especially early in the season after we've been inside for the whole winter and we're ready to go.
Talk a little bit about going back to the indoor season. You had a freshman, Samantha Johnson, make the trip to the NCAA Division II championships. Just missed All-American honors by one spot. Talk a little bit about her performance at the national meet and how impressive that is for her to be able to go that far, I guess, in the national competition.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive year, Sam, all the way across. I mean, she as a freshman came in, hit provisional, almost, pretty much got high enough on the list to get in, which is a pretty big accomplishment as a freshman. And once we got to the meet, she had a fabulous race in prelims. Ran what close to, what converted to almost to her, close to her PR when you converted in the altitude and everything we were at New Mexico. But she ran a tough race in prelims, and then even in finals, I think she just kind of ran out of gas a little bit. But to be a freshman, to get through prelims, to get to finals, I mean, she was the only freshman in the final, so that was pretty impressive. I was really pleased with what she did there. I mean, obviously we wanted that one more spot, but just our goal going into it was just to get some experience. Let's try and get through prelims and get to finals. So I think she's going to be a lot better suited next time we go. She's been through it once before, but it was a pretty awesome performance as a freshman, or anyone regardless of that matter, to get to that point and get to the meet and still run well in prelims and just kind of fall a little short in finals. But I told her to, hey, put it in the memory bank for next time we're here. So, but she had a great year.
Next week, you'll host your home track and field invitational, the Bulldog Invitational, on Saturday, April 9th at Top Taggart Field. Hopefully the weather clears up a little bit, but talk about the opportunity for your kids to be able to compete at home in that meet.
Yeah, it's actually over the years it's kind of grown. We're up to close to 10 schools. It's a chance for our kids to kind of get on our home track, barring the snow's gone, but get on our home track and just kind of compete, in front of their family. People come up and visit for the weekend, so it's kind of nice for our kids to compete on our home track. And the meet's actually growing, so it is pretty kind of decent competition for us, and pretty high level meet over the years. It's kind of grown, so that's kind of nice to see. But it's always good to host. It's nice for the kids to kind of run on their home track and just get one in. A little less pressure and less traveling.
As you move into the outdoor season, what do you see as some of the strengths and some of the key events for both the men's and women's teams this year?
Kind of moving into outdoor, some of our strengths, especially on the men's side, we have a couple of quality, mid-short sprinters, 400, 800 type guys, and then our distance guys are, we're younger, but we're starting to kind of come along a little bit. And Coach Levine has done a fine job with our throwers. We got a couple guys that are really kind of hoping to kind of big breakthroughs. So we're looking for kind of a little bit of 400, 800 type guys, and we're hoping for our distance guys and maybe our throwers to step it up a little bit and kind of get in there and really kind of perform. And on the women's side, we have some really talented freshman distance runners, and then our sophomore sprinter, Zoe Holman, was second in the conference in the 400 indoors, so she's running well already outdoors. So we're looking for kind of the same thing. Zoe's going to be tough in the 400 hopefully, and then 800 to 5K, and then Anna stepped it up in the 10K and ran well. So we got quite a few girls. That was a big group of sophomores from cross country, and then you mix in the freshmen, and we've got a pretty strong group. And then we have some quality throwers as well. So we're hoping to kind of do the same type of thing.
You mentioned the distance area. The women's cross country team in the fall had an outstanding season, going to the national championships again and doing well at the national meet. How big of a carryover is that going into the indoor season and now into the outdoor season with that group?
It's pretty big. It actually helps us a lot, you know, kind of confidence and like, hey, you know, we've done this in cross. We can race with these people in track too. So it kind of definitely bolsters the distance side of our track program, having that strong of a cross country program. And it's a little different cross country and track, but at the same time it carries over quite a lot. You know, a lot of the cross country team, we kind of break them up. Some of them are more of a middle distance, some are more longer distance, but it definitely helps us a lot. It gives us a lot of, you know, an area of focus for our team and really provides kind of the base, the backbone of our program right now.
As you go through the outdoor season after the Bulldog Invitational next week, you've got a number of other meets I know you go to throughout the year. What are some of the key meets that you have on the schedule this season and some meets that you're really pointing towards as the year goes on?
Well, a couple of the bigger meets, obviously the league championships in early May are hosted by Northwood, so that's kind of a big one. And then this year we're taking our kids with the national qualifying type abilities out to Mount Sac Relays in California, which is one of the biggest meets in the country. So that's going to be kind of a neat experience for us. You know, kids have done an awesome job fundraising and getting the money together, and we're going to take a chance to go out there and hope for some good weather. And then the Hillsdale hosts a big one, the Gina Relays. That's the other kind of big one we're shooting for.
You mentioned the GLIAC Championships hosted by Northwood this year in Midland. I know the conference is probably as strong as it ever has been. What does it take for your team to be ready at the end of the year to hopefully score some points and do well in the league competition?
The big thing is we just kind of need to kind of stick with what we're doing, stay focused on our training, and just understand that it's a long season. You know, we don't need to be ready right now. We got to be ready when it counts in May. So I think if we kind of stick to the plan, kind of follow our training through, I think we'll have some kids that really. We had a great performance indoor. We had a lot of girls scoring indoor. A couple guys had breakthroughs. Ryan did score, and then a couple of the other guys were real close. So I think if we can just kind of follow it through and kind of stay healthy, and really kind of get through the beginning of spring till we can get on the track and get some fast stuff in, I think we'll be ready to go.
And as you mentioned earlier in the show, some national qualifiers already in terms of qualifying marks from this past weekend. Talk a little bit about maybe some kids that have some potential maybe to go on to the national competition this year.
Yeah, well, I think obviously Samantha, made it indoors, so I think she's got a chance to make it in the 15. We have a couple other girls in the, in outdoor it turns to the 1500, not the mile, but in the 1500 we have a couple other girls. Alyssa Osika just missed provisional. And then we have, a senior, actually, Paige had hit provisional a couple years ago, so she's got the potential to go. And then obviously Anna has hit provisional already in the 10K, so she'll have to improve a little bit on that time to get in. And then we have a couple other kids that possibly could potentially get those times. So we could have quite a few kids, so it's just kind of right now you don't know, it's so early, you just kind of hit the times and see if they stand up.
Well, best of luck, and we hope the weather holds up.
Thank you. Yeah, we're hoping for it.
That's going to do it for another episode of Ferris Sports Update on the Bulldog Sports Network. A reminder, you can follow all the action online at ferrisstatebulldogs.com.